not like in the field analyst. I mean, come on, contractor. Contractor's way different, right?
Yeah. Right. I wasn't like a full bird colonel doing something. I worked with captains and colonels, and I would advise things. And I was hooked up with a 3-star admiral for a while. We were doing a lot of stuff over at Military Sea Lift Command, so I knew my way. I was a lot like George. I was sort of charismatic. Went to Fort Gordon a lot, where that reality winner. She's from Fort Gordon. I was down there a bunch of times. I was at CCOM up in New Jersey at Fort Monmouth a bunch of times. So that was kind of my world. It was more the Army.
No, that's really
as a contractor, as you say, and there you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I believe it. It's everything. It's everything that I guess like we all thought it was going to be. I'm kind of glad that it's like this. This makes a whole lot more sense, like I said before, than anything else. And I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings, my friend.
Well, and then just as a wrap up, that's one of the reasons I did see that a lot of people were starting to have anxiety and questions on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I talked to a lot of friends, and they said, "Don't tell the world don't do what you're getting ready to do."
Sometimes you got to
drag it out another week. It's just going to be it's that different.
Yeah, how's it any different than if you fucking wait a week to rip the Band-Aid off? It's just going to hurt more. And, honestly, this is a lot easier. I think if this is going to be done and over with, I guess we'll see what George says tomorrow. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's George. George likes 4-dimensional chess or whatever, 4D chess or 4D checkers, whatever it is. Hey, George, your move. I'm sure. I know I talked about him banging my wife and all that, but that was about the only disparaging thing I wanted to drag up from our childhood. But George knows I've got an inventory of bullshit that he's done when he was a kid, and he's probably got stuff on me. So that he can only go so far. He'll probably say I'm a government spook, and that I was. Don't trust me because the government's I file reports on, there's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff. And I think half of his people will probably believe that and just go on. And for him, it might be a bump, whatever. But at least the rest of the community that I'm counting on is this community. The community that I'm counting on for the next generation of people that are going to keep this Constitution going and keep this country going, guys like you. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to go overboard, but through the ranks need to know what's going on. My time's over. I could die tomorrow and feel like I accomplished whatever I needed to accomplish. So my time's getting ready to wrap up. You guys are the new guys coming up through the ranks, and you have to believe. And you're the cyber militia. You're the cyber militia that's coming up, and you're going to be the guardians. You're going to be the protectors. And I'm glad I wanted to enable you guys, and I wanted to empower you guys, because there's the dark forces on the other side. Let's just say they're the East Coast dark forces, and then there's the West Coast light workers. We're the people
providing access to national
that
and
are
local information,
opening things up and exposing things.
Learn more at
we got to keep that going.
datacenter.kidscount.org.
Basically did it as I wanted.
Run to the west, you creditor boy.
And everybody in the chat room, thank you. I appreciate you guys being there, and thank you again, DeFango. That was really nice of you to let me come on, and I think you're a great guy.
Bro.
I wanted the video to play.
I wanted to let the video. I figured you would let me play the video, and I was like, I know this motherfucker's gonna be here for me because I know this dude. I see you.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
All right, buddy. I'm going to let you run. Thank you very much.
Hey, bro. Be well, man. And, you got my number anytime, bro. Anytime.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Well, that was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome, guys. So, we got Dave Acton. And, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to turn off my phone number and kind of just say, look, guys, look. You can believe it, you cannot believe it. I mean, honestly, what you believe is what you're going to believe. We've been taking this journey together for a while, and, we got the truth, just like I said we were going to get it, and you know what, it may not be what you wanted to hear, but we got to support that guy. I mean, if you're my follower, you don't troll that guy. I mean, you should probably not even troll George Webb. That's what I've not been saying. You can, Jason is probably a handler Or, you know, fuck, you know, I mean, honestly, this is real life. These are people with feelings just like you and I and every single person out there. And, you know, sometimes things aren't psyops, and sometimes people are just sick, you know. Sometimes people are sick. And, you know, sometimes we just need to come together as people and actually see what's going on and, you know, forget about, you know, some of that other bullshit that we try to say and, you know, just move on and actually do the right fucking thing sometimes. Because that's what we're here for. We're here to help. We're here to be the love, and we're here to be the change that we want to see in the world, you know? Like, I don't give a shit what your religion is, whether it's Jesus or whatever, you know? Like, Kali, I don't care. As long as you're doing what the right thing is. And honestly, the right thing to do in this situation is to just probably, you know, let it be. I mean, I don't think I'm going to let it be. I can't really, you know, people are going to say this and that and psyop and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is look at me and look how I go through all this stuff. Level-headed, patient as a motherfucker. And look at some of these other guys that get really, really crazy. You know, emotions and all that stuff are one thing. But, you know, when we get down to brass tacks, it is just about, you know, being us. Because I got the power to create soul-healing miracles. So do you. Together we can create soul-healing miracles for everybody on the planet, everybody in the galaxy, the stars, everywhere. You know, that's what the best of us would have wanted. And that's why we are going to be the best of us. So I'm going to end this one right here. It's been really heavy. You know, I might kick it on, back on. I need to smoke some weed. Just kind of relax because that was heavy. So much love, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Just remember, never cruel, never cowardly, never give up, never give in, never give in. Oh, and yeah, we don't need any more of this evil shit. No more.
Burned down. We've seen what happened to this event tonight. For me, my celebration of this event was the unity. Forgive the ignorant person. Because you suffered from your country, and then you came here, the same attack, worse than that. But everything, there's a reasons. We made a difference, and that's why the unity we have here, it can also go wild globally, that can solve the problem we're having in the world.
Report there from our Africa editor Mary Harper at the Al Rama Islamic Centre in London.
Now have a close listen to this. a bird called the pied catcher, and see if you can hear the difference. This is its cousin, a collared flycatcher. Pretty similar. New research suggests that these birds recognize the songs of their own species, not because of nurturing, but because of genetic factors. David Wheatcroft is one of the study's co-authors at the University of Arizona. First of all, David, I mean, apparently this has implications for us humans as well, but first of all, just explain that a bit more. Tell us what you found out.
Yeah, thanks. So what we found is that very young birds, so about 12 days after hatching, are able to discriminate among those songs, and they discriminate in favor of the song of their own species. And so we did that by swapping embryos, so in eggs, to be raised by foster parents from the opposite species, so that we ensured that they had never heard the songs of their own species. And then we showed that despite having never heard it, they behaviorally discriminate in favor of it. And so this suggests that there's some genetic differences across the two species that influence how they perceive sounds, even at that very, very young age. And presumably then that should influence the songs that they ultimately select and learn to sing as adults.
So prior to this, the thinking, the scientific thinking, was that birds hear their mother or father and they respond to that and grow accustomed to that sound and learn that song. But you're saying there's something innate that is a memory of a specific sound, a memory, what would you call it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, so actually, I should say, so in some species, that's what you said is absolutely true. So they kind of are hatch and have kind of a relatively open learning process, so they can imprint on their social parents in some sense, no matter who they are, within some reason. But it's been suspected for a long time that there's something very, very early that happens. So whether it's genetic or early learned, maybe was not so definitively shown, but it's been suspected for a long time that there's something that happens very, very early in life that develops that allows young birds to discriminate and select their own species song. And the challenge with previous experiments has been to isolate these additional potential factors. So, for example, as you said, listening and learning from your parents, including even in the egg. So some recent studies have shown that songbirds can actually learn sounds even when they're still in the egg. And also additional effects like maybe something the mother introduces into the egg when she's laying it that could influence potentially the development of the brain.
Right, but when you were doing this, the embryo in the egg wouldn't have been able to hear any of the bird song of its parent.
That's right. So when we swapped them, so we swapped them across species when they were 3 days after laying, and at that really early age, there's no brain has actually developed yet really. So there's no potential for them to learn anything. So if we had swapped them potentially when they were very young chicks, there could have been a potential for them to learn, but we did our best to ensure that they couldn't.
And David, very briefly, is there an implication here?
Big show tomorrow. Sorry, were you guys tuned in that whole time? Big show. 1:11 p.m. Pacific, 4:11 on the East Coast, and 9:11 p.m. in London. Now this is
we hear it constantly.
I actually do have something to
Separation
talk
of
about. That moon you
church
see
and
there,
state must be
boy, to
imposed
my
at
eye,
all
it is
costs.
just enormous.
But the real cost is to suffer under a state separated from every moral constraint.
I'll never be able to capture.
Must be
with my
ready to
phone,
say, we ought to obey God rather than that. Don't want church and state? You'll get synagogue and state instead to fill the vacuum.
Isn't that weird?
Why else did Netanyahu
no
meet with
way
Clinton and Trump at the height of the elections? If it was Putin, all hell would break loose. Why does Bibsy get a free pass? And why do we see a Hanukkah menorah on the White House lawn every December with a head of state and a gang of rabbis lighting the candlestick?
Weird the way that
It all smacks of synagogue and state to me. And with it, 7 deadly sins infest the body politic. The plague broke out in 1911 when B'nai B'rith pushed to remove the Bible from public schools. In 1913, Paul Warburg pillaged the Constitution by creating the Federal Reserve that loans money to the government at interest. Borrower is slave to the money lender, and the Jews own the franchise. In 1917, the war machine sent Gentile boys off to war. War is a racket, and Jews like Jacob Schiff and Walter Rothschild financed it. In 1933, Rabbi Stephen Wise organized anti-Hitler rallies calling to end the German menace. The enemy of the Jews became the enemy of America. Sound familiar? In 1938, Louis Brandeis urged FDR to deport Palestinians to Jordan. And ever since, they're continually being pushed out. In 1958, Wiesel brought his book Night to New York and into the public schools. The Jews got the Bible out, and holy Christianity in. In 2015, poor Jews twisted the 14th Amendment into a breeding ground for homosexual marriages. What began with Roe versus Wade that murdered the unborn was finalized in 2015 that murdered the family. Count it up. Toss God out. Create dollars. Add money lending. Devise an enemy. Enable Zionism. Instill pity for enslavers. Debauch society. And you've got 7 deadly sins pervading the body politic. Synagogue and state has killed the republic. And you still want separation of church and state? When the house is swept clean, 7 demons enter in. We can either have a Jewish America or a Christian America. There is no in between. One has to wonder why the Lord Jesus Christ called the assembly of the Jews the synagogue of Satan. Is it because the synagogue uses the very same methods as Satan himself to achieve its aims? I grew up as a Jew, and it was instilled in me from a child that regardless of the methods used, Jewry was to gain the upper hand
related to Russia. Sessions will testify Tuesday before the Senate Intelligence Committee. As reporters were ushered out, neither man responded to shouted questions about their relationship or whether there are tapes of Trump's discussions with former FBI Director James Comey. Tara Keith, NPR News, the White House.
Component of Jewry's quest to rule over the Gentiles, and its hub of operations is the synagogue itself. That's why Jewish Senator Joseph Lieberman worked the synagogue circuit in the last presidential elections. Just last month, Jewish Pushkin Square William Crystal spoke at the B'nai Jeshurun synagogue in Manhattan, boasting